Look, one way or another, we gon' get our family up about together. Brother, you was out of pocket, no, I didn't stutter. I drop it back in the trap when investing in the streets, your treasures recover.
Empowerment professionals, how we doing today? Want to welcome you. We're here. We're at training number 2, where we're in module 3 of the sales process, and I'm truly excited to congratulate you for reaching thus far. You know, when we started this whole process of giving you these one pieces of content or videos a week to get your week going on right, to give you perspective on the different elements of or what will help you in your business, your brand, your profession. From our core philosophies, from a management standpoint, you know, we were excited to give you this information, but the fact that you made it this far says a lot about yourself and who you are as a professional. So we want to welcome you to the first part of training number 2, where we're going to be furthering the idea of the sales process, what it means to have an effective sales process. And right now we're going to recap, you know, what we covered in training number 1. So if you pretty much have, you know, been, didn't skip and didn't come to this part without going through all of the prerequisite modules and the first training in module 3, you know, you would have gone through everything and experienced everything and pretty much understood where we're at when it comes to building an effective sales process and the components that come along with it. But just in case you need a refresher, let's go ahead and check out some of the things that we covered here in the first training.
So really excited to have you today. We're going to be diving in and just picking up where we left off with some very incredible information, and allowing this information to really take this your understanding of the sales process to the next level. We understand that, you know, when we looked at all of the different modules of, you know, planning and the strategy with you know, the business strategy in module 1 and module 2, financial position, we understand there's frameworks that we're developing. So now that we have our plans in order, now that we have our finances in order, we're in a space of how do we increase revenue so that we can fulfill all of our strategic goals. If you remember this slide, you know, we basically were talking about analysis strategies, you know, the quantitative side, which is more analytical, numbers based, and then the qualitative side, which is more of a strategy based style of looking at the sales process. You need both of them. They both work hand in hand. They both will allow you to really get full understanding of if you have an effective sales process. But in doing so, when they come together, they'll give you the information, they'll give you the data.
As you can see, we laid the groundwork in the first training, so you can understand really what the journey is going to be and what we are going to take you from this point moving forward. But just like we want to give you the personal development notes of the day. So we covered a lot of them throughout training number 1. So let's go ahead and check out what some of those are. They're all good stuff. Hope you like those as well too.
Sorry, let's talk about our personal development note of the day, and that is a book that I believe, if you're looking to have an effective sales process, it's something you definitely have to pay attention to or should have added in your library, and that is The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my perspective, right? So this book really talks about the spreading of viral causes, right? And it all deals from a marketing standpoint. It analyzes, one, who are the types of people that are related in these wildfire spreadings of business ideas or whatever kind of idea it may be, right? What were the components that were involved in those ideas, and then basically some case studies that kind of give you an idea of what you learned and how it relates to these case studies. I totally forgot to do this, but I got to make sure I do this, stay consistent, is we got to talk about our personal development note of the day. So today, we are talking about an amazing book called Bold. So Bold, if you take a look at it, it's by Peter Diamond and Stephen Coulter. It's an amazing book. one way to increase your revenue is to increase your way of thinking. And in this aspect, this book talks about the 10x way of thinking and the tools and resources that are available to help you to achieve 10x results. So, an amazing book. If you want to get outside your space, your comfort zone, or your way of thinking, this is a great book to read because sometimes the reflection of how your business performs is a total reflection of your mind state. And if you aren't reading the right books or getting around the right people in the right environments, it can be hard for you to grow. And you can find that your business, your brand, or just you as in your career is stifled. So here's a book that can assist and help you do so. And of course, abooks.com is a great way.
So hopefully you enjoyed the different book recommendations that we covered in the prior training. All of them are great books. I had an opportunity to not only to read but also to implement a lot of those concepts and ideas that came from those books. Some that what you're experiencing right now here within the institute. So if you haven't had an opportunity to add them to your library, I would definitely recommend that you do so, because those are books that will truly expand your mind, expand your ideas, and also expand what it is that you're looking to build within your company, within your business or your profession, or whatever brand you're looking to establish out here in the marketplace. All of those resources are great. So not only did we dive in with the personal development recommendations, we also covered some live exercises where there was some personal development involved in that too. But also we started to get more technical as far as different things that you can do to advance an effective sales process. Let's go ahead and get into that right now.
Let's start with budget analysis. Okay. Looking at your sales process, these are the things you would want to take a look at. Now, the things you first got to ask yourself is, why do we have sales? And the first thing is to cover expenses, right? So there are certain things that are required or a part of your operation that will allow it to run effectively. So when you're looking at your process, there's a couple of different pieces that you have to consider. Number one, you have to consider, how do you cover overhead, what is also known as break even. So when you meet your overhead and there's nothing left, that's what we call break even point, right? This company or this business is not breaking even. So if you say, all right, does this business have an effective sales process? At this point, the answer would be no. The reason being is that they're operating in a negative. So they haven't figured out a way to fully maximize or fully to cover their overhead. That's really, I guess, the first piece, the first way that you can see if you have an effective sales process. Because if you're always operating in a negative, the answer to that is probably no. And then you have to go back to the strategy and see how you.
So as you can see, we're diving in. We're getting aggressive. We're getting deeper here, right? We're giving you resources. We're giving you information. We're giving you exercises, practical things that you can walk away not only here, but in our bonus section that is also available. So we're and this is all in training one. I mean, if you're the type of person that's trying to speed ahead, this is only giving you a basis of what we covered in the entire course itself. But this is just from our past training. But for those that are on par, right? We've given you a good amount of information to help you start your process when it comes to developing, how you're going to manage your sales within your business brand and your profession, right? But what else can we do? What else can we do more? And what I feel, or what I believe is, there's no better way to build on top of information than social proof. So what better way to do that than somebody that's already out here selling, has a business, and is out here doing the do. So I brought some friends to come hang out with us in the prior training. So let's go ahead and see, come meet one of my friends who, is also in our institute, another one of our instructors as well, doing some amazing things, and came on in here and in this training to come talk to you guys and give you some information. Let's go see what the clips look like in there.
I thought it would be
um, a great idea to not just talk about sales, but to give you sales in real time. And what I did is I called upon one of my good friends, somebody that's in the business world doing some amazing things, Mr. Travis T. Wolf of the Wolf Empowerment Group. So, Mr. Wolf, how are we doing today, sir?
Oh man, I'm always doing phenomenal, brother. I'm always doing amazing. Thank you for asking. Thank you for having me. My name is Travis T. Wolf, as my good friend Mitchell already told you. But what I do is I empower individuals to be able to truly overcome their obstacles, their challenges in life, and to really allow them to experience happiness, success, and totally help them to really zone in on that. And I think we kind of do it backwards. We try to get things and objects and situations to help us feel happy. But if we find that happiness within ourselves first, everything else will follow. We'll be able to get those things and those circumstances, create them in our lives because we're more resourceful, because we're in that happy space. I'm all about empowerment, so I fit right into the Empowerment Institute. So this is a perfect place, and I'm just grateful to be here. So
your business, what is it? What do you feel? What's your perspective on having a good sales process? What does it mean to your business?
It means everything, because everything is truly sales. Sales is just a transfer of belief, and it's your belief transferred to somebody else's, to someone else, to make them believe what you believe. And in order to do that, you have to be convincing in sales. And in any business, we want people to believe in our product. We want people to believe in us. We want people to believe in what we do and how what we do in our product and how our services can serve them and help them to get to a place that they want to get to in life. So it's extremely important. Sales is everything. And if the people don't believe in you, that you're coaching or that you're training or that you're serving with your product or your service, then they're not going to want to buy. They're not going to share your product or service, or they're not going to talk about you to other people or recommend other people to you or even refer, you to other people. So sales is extremely important. I think it's everything.
If we're talking because one of the things that we're teaching here is typically about qualitative analysis or qualitative change, and then there's also quantitative change. There's the quality, which you already covered when it talks about information and getting that will help you to improve your process. And then there's the qualitative approach, which is the actual numbers, the hard data. Like I said, the numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. So my question to you is, are there some numbers that you pay attention to on a, whether it's weekly, monthly, or annual basis to help you to drive those good habits when it comes to your sales process?
So, of course, it's always important to pay attention to numbers. Everything that, we say is all speculative until you access the numbers. Book sales, income from all streams, whether it be book sales, whether it be coaching, training,
right?
Whether it be group coaching or whatever. And also the analytics online. That stuff is extremely important when we're talking about what people are looking at, what interests people, what video worked, what video didn't work. Those numbers are really important.
There's things that are going to drive your business that influence the correct habits, and will influence the correct results. But in the same token, they shouldn't drive you crazy. They shouldn't drive you up the wall.
I like that. Yeah.
It shouldn't be the thing that makes you turn the lights off at in the middle of a hot summer day and depressed with all the blinds down. Because at the end of the day, it's okay, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Sometimes, as the business owner, as the CEO, as the person that is driving the ship or part of an organization, that might not be your strength. But that doesn't necessarily mean you don't have to pay attention to make sure that's a part of your process. That just means you shouldn't be doing it. So it's always good to outsource or get help or find something. So if you, what's the saying? If you can't do it, you recruit it. You're the brand, you're out there, you're speaking. We see you on Instagram. We see you doing the deal, but you still have the president, somebody else that's running the operation day to day of your company. So that's a major key for those that are paying attention. If you can't do it, you should find somebody that can, because that doesn't excuse you from making sure that's a part of the process. It just means that you have to delegate and figure it out and have something else that's somebody else that can get the job done, or a system in place to get the job done.
What was the aha moment for me, really, when I was just frustrated trying to do everything. I decided to delegate some tasks and to not try to handle everything all on my own. And then finding a team was the next step. And that was actually pretty easy. I'm more of a quantitative guy, honestly. It's about how much, because for me, I believe the more that you do a thing, the better that you get in it. The more that you do a thing, the more people will recognize what you do, and consistency is key. So if we're not doing things over and over and over again, then we're not going to get the results that we're looking for.
Right.
And I've watched other people and even myself just like stay consistent in a specific area, and then one day, boom, it's just, something just happens, where a big opportunity comes their way, or or they get connected to that one right person that helps them to really blow up. That consistency is key. So for me, it's more quantitative, because I can track that more. I know I have more control over that kind of thing. But obviously, the quality is extremely important as well.
They both work hand in hand. If you do a thing, if you manage your performance, if you manage the numbers, you actually do enough of it, you'll start to see what's good, what's not, and you'll make the necessary improvements. But on the flip, if you look at the quality, you're always looking at the quality, you can get paralysis from analysis, where you're looking at it so much that you're not out there in the field, you're not making the calls, you're not doing anything that's going to help create a result. And ultimately, professionally or from a business perspective, if you're not doing a certain thing, if you're not having enough appointments, if you're not getting in front of enough people, you'll never see the results. And eventually, you're not going to meet your sales goals and your bottom line, or whatever the number is that you're trying to meet from a sales perspective. You'll be that far off because you're just focusing so much on the quality. So ultimately, they both work hand in hand. That's what it sounds like. So there you have it. You got resources. You've gotten instructional exercises, personal development notes. You've met you got real life examples. What else can we say? I'll tell you what we can say. If you look at the video below, well, this concludes this segment of the recap. Hopefully you've got an idea of what happened in training 1 and you're excited about training 2. And to kick off training number 2, there's a video below right here. After this video ends, go right to it, and then you'll be able to see how we kick off the start, part 1, the beginning segment of module 3, training 2, which is now called Fortune in the Follow-Up Tracking is Everything. So let's go right in and get right into it. Thanks for hanging out with us during this recap. If you're watching us on YouTube, and you're not part of the Institute, we welcome you to come on in. Click the link below if you're on YouTube, and you'll be able to get access to the Institute, or at least with my course, the 4 Approaches to Effective Management. Both links will be there. And if you're already in here, go right ahead to the next video. Check it out. Let's get right into training number 2 of module 3. And I'll see you at the next video. Talk to you guys soon.
Look, one way or another, we gon' get our family up about the gutter. Brother, you was out of pocket, no, I didn't stutter.